All righty, I got 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the Public Works Committee meeting to order. If you would, if you hadn't had a chance to review the minutes from the past meeting and entertain a motion to approve the minutes. This is any additions and corrections? And a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve, have a second. Any more discussion on, all in favor, say aye. See anything in there? Glad we're still looking at it, see anything?
You do that, I'm still looking
Okay.
it's all right.
All righty, we'll move into
Yes.
number 3, discussion items. The first thing under discussion items is parks, the playground update. Can you give us an update, Mr. Salih?
We're gonna have a pre-construction meeting in the next couple of weeks. We haven't got a date scheduled just yet. We should have it by the end of the week. So, we're moving forward. The equipment's been, as far as I know, is in production. We should have it before too long. The pre-construction meeting will give us a lot more information about where we're at as far as delivery and install dates and times.
When was a pre-construction meeting?
It'll be in the next couple of weeks.
Next couple of weeks.
Mhm.
Y'all plan to schedule it this week, you said?
Sir?
Y'all plan to schedule it this week?
We're emailing back and forth right now, and everybody get a good date to agree on.
Anybody got any more questions in regard to this?
Did we look, I read it in our minutes, we discussed the quote contractor for some of the concrete work. You thought maybe we could get some folks locally.
Yeah, we got a better deal. It was around $2,800, but cheaper. It was a better deal, you know. It's not a whole lot better, but
So it was 77,000, I mean.
yeah,
We're still waiting on TDEC to approve them. They have to approve the contractors.
The contractors here were already pre-approved. I see that, no, okay.
Mm-mm.
we had to
I
pick,
still want to be even, if that was already pre-approved,
Yeah.
it's that close.
we had to pick them before they approved.
I'm sorry,
We had to pick one for me.
I didn't know if these were already part of the, now sometimes there's pre-selected groups that are already pre-approved. So if neither one of those are, that sounds like great.
Other things in the parks, we've, I think we talked about it last time, we purchased, several feet of conduit and, right now we're selecting the right camera wire. We're gonna redo all that. All the parks tore up, we're gonna run a bunch of new lines under the ground, before they come in and do theirs, so we don't have to, in the future, tear anything up. You know, we're gonna go ahead and use some of them now, but I'd like to have a couple laid in, you know, so we don't ever have to disturb that again for any reason. So we're doing that, working on the basketball courts. We're working on another grant for the tennis courts and just getting ready for spring. Painting everything, redoing a lot of the stuff inside the restrooms, new countertops and things like that. They've been set on since they were built. They're giving way and stay wet all the time, so they're just old kitchen countertops are starting to swell and separate. We've already done the men's restroom, we're fixing to do the women's restroom. Just getting ready for this new playground, I want everything looking new when we move in.
If everything goes, like expected, what's a somewhat of a guess you hope to have the trade part, done?
September, August or September. That's my guess, but until we have this construction pre-construction meeting. Talk to them and see how far along we are in production with the equipment and stuff, for sure.
Right, right. I know that. I had someone that messaged me, wanted to know, so at least I can give.
Yes, some of those Facebook times, at our last meeting, you said you thought they still have a chance to get the April or May deadline. I guess what's pushed it back that?
Well, we just now ordered the equipment. We had to order it before they'll start producing it, so. It's in the manufacturer's hands now.
So there's probably no way it's gonna be done by spring then, probably.
We'll know more after the construction meeting.
Judging
You're not
by
aware,
everything else we've had to do around town lately, you know, it's done by spring.
What are you doing to the basketball court? Is it pretty good shape?
They're in good shape. We're repainting, we're gonna restrap them. Like I said, we're gonna disturb a little ground over there. We meant to check today, we just ran out of time. I'm gonna see if my bucket truck will reach those lights. We're gonna start changing those over to LEDs, nothing near what baseball lights were. We can find comparable lights for a lot less money, and they'll do for what we need in that area. You know, they're not near as high up, they're only like 30 feet high. So the lights won't have to be right at all.
And we had talked about putting a little volleyball court out in that one.
They're still in play, yeah.
That's still in.
Well, I'm hoping we can use that for the tennis courts. Spring gets here, we're gonna have a lot of people wanting to play pickleball, and that's just getting to be a bigger and bigger thing here. So we'd like to get those courts up to speed with pickleball and tennis. You know, there'll be a dual purpose court. They're strapped right now for both, but some of it's tape and some of it's, you know, just paint. It needs to be a better setup.
I saw where the Little League's been doing a lot of work down there. I put new benches in for the dugouts, covering them, and redone that T-ball. It looks really good.
They're changing all the clay out right now. We went through earlier in the week, they put all the benches in, but some of them had a rattle. We went back and checked, a lot of them had loose nuts, so we spent yesterday tightening loose nuts, and the dirt where they dug the post holes, we cleaned all that up. We're getting rid of the benches and the blocks and stuff that, you know, just construction materials that they left behind. We cleaned all that up this week.
Looks good.
I think we might need to look at the fence that was put around the pole that's in the field, between 1 and 2. I know we put a fence up there last year. That fence seems to not be there now. Okay. Or not be up when I looked at it the other day. There's a pole in the middle that they were worried about, an outfielder coming into. Maybe 2. I just remember, they mentioned that piece there.
The new light poles, you know what you're talking about?
2 of them actually inside the field of play.
Yes, sir.
They have no padding or anything, so there's some worries there about. Student, our child running into those little 5
Which
holes.
field's at the Little League or?
Field 1, 1 and 2, they're actually on field 1, what they call field 1, that'd be the field closest to the highway. Yeah, largest field.
So you want a fence put up?
I just noticed they want a fence there. I think this committee voted to have a fence put around it last year. Padding or fence put around it last year.
I know we talked about it. I think it makes the impression.
Yeah, I don't remember nothing. I don't remember, but it was probably did.
I make.
So as far as,
It just got filled in on.
It must have,
That's what I think.
it seems like we talked to somebody and the fence would affect the ball play or something. I can't remember. That could have been the guys that did the construction work we talked about with that too, but We'll get a fence up, no problem.
padding can work, something, we put in something for, there was a worry it was a child running, you know, that. It's a straight metal pole in the middle,
Right,
not in the middle of the field, by no means, it's on the,
it's close.
in foul territory, but it's close enough to get ran into.
What about, we have any vandalisms, everything pretty good shape, or everything, the cameras really help?
They had a guy in the snowstorm, run across the grass, but, I didn't get his tag, but he had a very recognizable vehicle, so I called him one day later and we had a talk. So we're good.
Has anybody else got any questions about the playground?
The license plate readers, are they up there, then yet? They have, that'll help out with the situation like that.
There's some stuff, I mean, if y'all wanna go ahead with these camera systems, I'll do it. It just seems like a lot of money, you know, we paid $27,000 on this other one. And, they keep blaming the internet. We're gonna run right now, we have a bridge, a wireless bridge running in the internet from the pool to the Trey Park restaurant. And we're constantly having to work on it. I mean, it's steady. So we're gonna run a wire where it has direct feed to our internet service at the pool. But if I had to call them every time I needed it worked on, they'd be up here 3 times a week. It's terrible.
That's the wireless system.
Yeah, well, the cameras, the new camera system, I just don't think it's, I've got 2 at the convenience center, and 1 over here at my office that I can pull up on my phone at any time. They're $600 a piece. And I mean, they work perfect. I'm putting them up right now. They look at anything.
So what's wrong with one there?
I can't get them pulled up. Every time I go in there, it's shut down. I have to power it back up, log it back on. It's recording, but it's always offline. It's always offline.
Maybe it's a wireless system.
I hope, I really do hope, because with that, at least with the Wi-Fi or with the internet, direct internet, they can log in and check. It's already, they had to call the manufacturers of that actual piece of equipment in to come in and change some stuff in it because it shut down and deleted a bunch of our stuff, all of our licenses and stuff were deleted and everything, so. It's just giving us a lot of problems for the money. I wasn't expecting this kind of problem.
I think the same thing. Maybe you can take a look at that for us. Give us an opinion anyway.
So the cameras are recording, you just can't access the recording. remotely.
And it logs us out. I mean, we had to log into it twice today within a 5-minute period. It'll just shut down, and come right back on.
That's the same system that's running the pool camera area too.
No, sir.
No, okay.
That one we bought 10 years ago.
But it's running fine.
It works fine. It's outdated. It's got the old BNC connectors and some of the chlorine starting to affect the connectors on it. So we may go ahead and get one of these $600 systems to get up there. The cameras have been a big deterrent for the pool over the years, so. I'd like to get one of those going too, but that, like I said, that won't take very long.
All righty, let's move into to pool season. I seen that she's passed out some information. Looks like they did some good work on this. If y'all want to go over this. Mr. Gully,
Looking at the, we have a 3-hour rental on last year's for the, pool parties. But I only see 2-hour options. How do we want to offer that 3-hour option? Or do we need to remove that 3-hour option? I assume this was last year's,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
So it's got a 3-hour cost, but we're only showing 2-hour opportunities. We got 2 hours from 5:30 to 7:30 and 2 hours from 8 to 10. I'm reading that correctly. I'm a little sleepy, so I'm just saying, what do we want to post on there if we're gonna offer 3 hours? When do we want that?
That's up to y'all. And last year, there was like certain days you had pool parties on.
It's on Monday, Wednesdays, and
Yeah, why, I mean, why don't we have a pool party, why can't we have a pool party like every, somebody said,
I think this is Monday, then Wednesday through Sunday.
Tuesday's only day, Knox will have their pool open.
But I think that's.
It just say that Monday,
Yeah.
Wednesday through.
Yes.
Sunday.
We were choked way back last year on parties because of the help. We just didn't have the help. Certain kids weren't allowed to work past 5 or 6 o'clock, that's what it was.
But currently, the only night we can't have a pool party is Tuesday, because Tuesday's scheduled 10 to 10.
Yeah.
So open for everybody, 10 to 10, so that's why.
Yeah.
That's the only night we're not scheduling a pool party, so it is open.
Yes.
Except for Tuesday. But, what we got posted right here, if we put this out,
Yeah,
it doesn't say anything about 3 hours. So when-
yeah, it's showing 2 hours on all these and it's showing,
I guess too, how many 3-hour ones do we typically have, versus a bunch of twos?
There was 2 last year. I don't know why you wouldn't just do like a 2 hour, you have 3 lifeguards, it doesn't matter how many people you have, whether you have 50 or 45 or, you know what I mean, just make it a price and seems like that would be easier, but I'll do whatever you guys want to do.
Has that usually been the case, but that there's a lot more 2-hour than there are 3?
so we just need to mark that 3 hour off.
Yeah, I think we just get rid of the 3.
Honestly, I think it is, I just want to see where we go. I don't care which way we go, I just, we gotta have a plan for either way. So removing the 3 hour option,
Yeah,
That's, I mean, that's,
I'll make that amount.
I've got a motion to remove the 3 hour and leave them all 2 hours. Any more discussion on that? Have a second? Second by Presley. All in favor, say aye. Y'all understand what we did here? I mean, on this, it shows 3 hours on one of them, which is all gonna be 2 hours. And this thing here shows 2 hours on all of them anyways. This one will still be good.
that's all we do,
Yes.
except for the 3 hour on the bottom, it'll have to be removed. So is the, just trying to address your comment, is the. If I understood you correctly, you're talking about the difference in less than 50 people or more than 50 people. And that's really just that pay.
Right, but what, my thing is, what if you think, who's there, if you get there, you don't think you're gonna have 50 people, but then, you know, each church kid brings a friend, and then you got over that, and then you don't have 2 lifeguards there, then what?
Well, I assume if we,
If you just made it 3, it wouldn't matter. Whether you had 25 people, whether you had 65 people.
Just do a set rate for a 2-hour party and 3 lifeguards, is what you're talking about.
No, both of those are 2 hour parties.
Right, one's with 2 lifeguards, one's with 3, because you're saying just make them all with 3
Then you don't have,
and figure out a rate.
yeah, cause who, I mean,
Mr. Goodley.
my only concern, I don't disagree with the comment you're making, is we seem to have trouble with lifeguards either. If we're saying, hey, look, the maximum that we can do this night is 50, because we only have 2 lifeguards available.
so what happens when the church shows up and they got 60 kids, you gonna turn 10 away?
Yes, ma'am, you have to,
Who's gonna be in charge of doing that?
our lifeguards should be able to take care of movement. You're allowed to have this many here, that's all we can have on the city. I mean, that's just the truth, that's just,
Right, so you got like a 16, 17-year-old telling an adult person that they can't have those things.
I would hope they can have an adult they can contact, and that adult can make sure that they are in contact with whoever they party running in and saying, I get what you're saying, but
But that's what I'm saying, if you just had 1 price and 3 lifeguards, then it wouldn't matter, you wouldn't have to worry about that ever happening, there'd be no problem. But
As long as we have the help, it's a good idea. I think that's the question.
How are we looking on help? Have y'all had any luck?
We've
Yeah.
got a few, we're not just covered.
everybody struggles, I mean, down to make it's a struggle, and it's going to be, I mean, because it's not a great paying job, you know, and I mean, and they're kids,
We pay more, I think we pay as much or more than anybody.
we do.
The thing is, I say this every year, it's cold weather, and they're not thinking about it at all. I mean, they're just not thinking about a lifeguard job. And most of these kids, if they want a job, they're working somewhere. Either here or out, and they're doing something somewhere, so it's just a matter of time before we can.
And then a majority of them
Yes.
that want to work are involved, you know, and so whether it's football, basketball, or whatever, I mean, they got practice, you know, during the day, all week long.
speaking of that, fortunately, our summer sports and junior sports, I'm sure, are gonna all be in the morning practice, so that might help us out.
They could, yeah, that'd be great. But that's usually what kind of, interferes.
Our June practices are gonna end about 12:30, if I'm remembering reading that correctly.
Well, we probably, we need to, I guess, go ahead and set the hours of operation, the pool parties and the fees and all that. We probably need to go ahead and, Mr. Gillum.
I'd make a motion that we leave as is, minus the fact that the 3 hour party being stricken from each piece and go with where we were last year.
I'd like to maybe look at the family pass, because the cost on that, because I think we sold a lot less of those last year. Am I remembering correctly?
I don't know.
There was, it looks
I
like
know,
there
I
was
didn't-
less, but it looks like what's happened in talking to Gallatin and Macon County there is that where we're all running into is that the kids are going back to school, so the hours of operation we're closing, you know what I mean? Like it used to be, it seemed like it was open until, Labor Day, even on the weekends. And I don't know what you guys were, but you can't, some of the college kids who went back to college, they're not gonna come in, work a Saturday. So you just don't have any help, and I think some people have deterred from the season pass because it's only open, for really just 2 full months.
Well, like, I bought a family pass every year, and I didn't last year just because it's been working today, not having kids, it just made sense to buy individuals for me and James, it was cheaper.
Absolutely.
So I just wonder if have we priced that maybe a little too high?
Anybody else got any discussion on this? Mr. Gillum?
I'll stick with my motion, but we made the call there to reduce the family. If it's a family of 4, the individual pass at $80, 4 times 8, $320. So it's we cut $100 roughly off of that price of a family of 4, and that was the goal in setting those pieces. So it's smart. It's kind of one of those deals, we're looking at two lines here, looking at which line's best for you. And if your family's less than, if it's a 2-party family, then it's better to go the other route. If it's 3 or more, if you're actually in the right range here. So it was kind of trying to help those out, if I remember that correctly. So, I mean, if you're a family of 2, it's $160 for you. If you're a family of 3, all right, 240, we're below that price here already on family of 3. So I think it's a pretty fair place.
Anybody else got any input on this?
I did make a motion.
I got a motion. Do I have a second? Got a second by Mr. Presley. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. It carries. So we're looking at the hours of operations on this form we got here, then the rental fees and all that, just taking the 3 hours off.
It seemed like it was pretty good and clear last year.
It's a page.
Taking 3 hours off that, yeah. Do we need to go over the concession stand, the pool concessions, or just? Oh,
We
Mr.
don't have an opening day or closing day.
Yeah, we ain't got to that yet. Maybe we need to discuss that tonight or maybe next month.
Next month.
Okay,
Let's
next
get
month.
that worked out.
Next month, we'll try to come up with an opening and closing date.
Were we able to secure I'm sorry,
Mr. Good.
were we able to secure a location, time, appointment to try to train some lifeguards so we can have them ready for that day?
We've got to have a certain amount to call and get a class. So how many applications?
I've got 4 that need certification.
How many do we have to have in our pack before we can get a class?
Well, it costs the same no matter what, but we like to send, at least 4 or 5, so they can go together, right, together. They're all friends, so it helps if we can get as many of them as possible in there. We got 4, so maybe they'll get some of their friends gathered up and just grow in the next week or 2.
Sometimes we put a deadline on things and say, hey, here's where we need you to be, here's the class date we can go to. And if we won't run into that issue of trying to secure a lifeguard to train us when we might already have a booked date. So, hey, here's the date that's coming up. And we can work with those 4 individuals if they already signed up, hey, well, this date or this date work for you, let's try to get a couple of dates available. I think it'd be best, in our best interest to go and secure a date and say, hey, here's a date we'll get that. And then they'll build it more, hey, if you're gonna do this, you gotta do it. like this. It's always better,
We at
kids are very
Lakefront,
much procrastinators. So are some adults, but if they know that they don't have a date coming
depending
at
on
them,
where they're doing it now. It depends on the weather, if it's an outside pool, that plays in effect too, so it's not just really like calling and saying, hey, we're gonna do this April 22nd. It doesn't really work like that.
I'll get an appointment for these four, and then if we can add to them, we'll add to them. If not, we'll just tell them we'll schedule them, you know, another one, since you're done today. We'll have to do that anyway.
that's what I figured. But if we can get a date for them already secured, even if it's an indoor, Jimmy Floyd still does it inside, I think as well, right?
Yeah.
So we can get something like that ready to go.
It'll be nice, once we get them in and they start going through the hiring process and realize that things have changed from last year.
That's good.
Last year was a 3-hour hiring process with the HR department. So you just don't want to sit in there for that. amount of time.
Maybe they can spread the word that it'll be a little,
Yeah.
it was a little easier.
Yeah.
This form here, you said was gonna start posting, I mean, y'all,
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's already at the Raleigh Community Mart, it's at some churches, it's at schools.
Hey, they're all, those are all.
okay.
So we've got things that are- And what's the?
I haven't done that, I was gonna wait until March, so that like, because if you put things out right now, everybody's all gun ho, and then it goes nowhere.
Just gotta keep it going. like,
Yes.
Get it again.
Yes.
What's the minimum age? For like
15,
50?
that's crazy. I can't leave it, you know. We say that and then we want to keep this open till 10 o'clock at night, so we really gotta be choosy with it.
I completely understand. Understand.
Could we do something with the athletics or the
I've got two, so.
Okay.
I just wanted y'all to see,
Okay.
you know, kind of,
Just change the phone, okay, that takes go, yeah. So that looks, I'm glad you're throwing it up there, and it might, if I read this correctly, not gonna turn it in.
Go ahead.
I know it says $200 bonus for those that are already certified. But it might be good if we put on here, we're paying for your certification otherwise. So, cause that was the goal of that piece, so. They're not gonna have to pay for a certification, you will, if you're not certified, we will pay for that certification. That's already part of our plan.
Okay, yeah, we can put whatever you want. That's-
We've done that last year, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Like, it just might be good to have that piece on there. We're paying for your certification, but you gotta work, and if you work X amount of, we don't have that in front of us, but I believe if you work the whole summer with us, we gave a bonus for that piece as well. It was a goal of getting those back, so not to be paid for it, so we'll get the same ones come back to us. We hope to get a certain pattern like we were before COVID,
Right,
where we had kids coming back, things were running for us. I think it'd be beneficial to add something in that nature this word this year that we're,
it says that certification be obtained on there. Now, whenever that they call, I mean, I've told them that they know. They know what to pay for this, but I wouldn't. see
it'll be on the
what-
flyer and it'll be on social media.
perfect.
Appreciate your hard work. I mean, what you've done so far, you think,
Thanks.
You didn't have any issues with concessions last year, just my way working with.
Yeah.
Well, oh,
so concession, just, no, we don't need to just leave. it. That's good
One
on
of the candy bars, we're probably gonna fade out this year. Snickers at Sam's almost $50. I found them cheaper at Walmart, they're $10 a box cheaper at Walmart, so we'll probably have to order some things from there. For some price comparing everywhere before I buy them, so, hopefully this will stay about the same.
if you. Is that a full candy bar? The candy that like the candy bar, we're paying. Right at $1 per candy bar, anywhere you go to buy. I do a whole lot of concessions, in school.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost you on our end with $1 before you go pick it up, before any of that happens. So you're paying $1 per at least. Before we pick it up. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 to $1.08. Any other person right now. I can tell you that a year ago, was costing us about 63 cents. So the same 63 cents now buys half that candy bar.
Snack size, huh?
I might have to change the size. You may be right. You're right. But it has drastically changed. I keep a good record of what cost were and where they are. That's how they've increased. I don't share the cost currently, or anything, I think.
Well, that's something, if we may have to look at to raise the price, if we'd like to try to leave it cheap as we can, I mean, but if we have to, we'll just have to. Anything else on the pool? We'll, maybe next, month, we'll try to come up with our opening date and closing date. I think everything else is pretty good shape here, what we discussed tonight. Anybody else got anything else we need to discuss on the pool tonight? Alrighty, let's move into number 3, Blue Cross Blue Shield 2024 application project. Applicants open in August. I mentioned something to Amy the other day about about when this come back open or whatever. We need to start getting this back on our mind, and maybe we can get some help from them on this. They did that park up our Red Bull and really looked good, and we had the lady here to come and speak. And can you give us any update?
I can if you're.
Okay.
I talked with Miss Crystal over the weekend, and she said right now is the perfect time to get all your ducks in a row, decide on what project you're wanting to do. So tonight, I mainly need you to confirm as far as what you're wanting the grant to be applied for. And I can get back with her and she'll get all the background on the community and, you know, everything to get ready to apply in August. We just need to know what project you're wanting to do.
We were unsuccessful on the last one, correct?
We did not apply for the last one because we missed the deadline.
missed the
We didn't
deadline.
have enough.
Yeah, when she got here, the deadline was done up, but she said we need to start getting ready for this, apply for this.
Right.
Okay.
And we had talked about, like Cliff said, maybe redoing the tennis courts and the basketball or,
Tennis court.
and I've mentioned to her, we need to do something about, that's like our youth football. They have to practice on the Little League fields. Now, they've got nowhere to practice, because the reason they use the Little League fields is because of lighting. I mean, they ain't got nowhere else to go to practice. But I guess it's working out, but if we had some kind of little smaller field for something of that nature, maybe.
But I know there was a mention a year or two ago, we had an individual
Yeah,
present.
it was over the youth football.
I hadn't heard anything back from that piece. Thought they could gain 50 to 75,000 in a short amount of time. But I hadn't heard anything back from them.
But we just need the input where we can, like I said, we need to get Cliff, what would you like to be? I mean, what do you think? Just, you said the basketball court and the tennis court, use this
Well, the
grant.
basketball courts are in good shape. They just need to be freshened up. We want to pressure wash the sidewalks and the courts, and then repaint them, restripe them. But the tennis courts, there's cracks, 3 to 5 inches wide through it. The beams, the poles that hold the nets up are, broken loose in the ground. They just look terrible. It hadn't been resurfaced since I started working here. That was 2006. So I think they just had resurfaced them right in that time period. But it's almost 20 years since anything's been done to them.
On this project, does it have to be one thing or can it?
I think it's better if it's focused on one area instead of multiple,
Now, we've got the
the master plan.
master plan, that really helps. We've got that. I mean,
The master plan also has some volleyball courts on
Mhm.
behind this tennis court area. That's kind of staying in one area plus goal of outdoor recreation. That might get us in.
I mean, you can do the whole court system, including the basketball, tennis. You can do that whole area. And I think that's what we were looking at last fall.
I think that would be the best way to go.
And then as you're getting your budget kind of lined up, if there's something that needs to fall off, say the basketball courts, great, you can still go with the other 3.
Okay, this piece. I think that was our discussion last year. I didn't remember if we got through.
I
this part
think
of
we
it.
did.
But if we can look at doing those courts, I think that's a really good move for us. And even if we have to, putting in lighting for the tennis court, basketball courts already have lighting, if I'm not mistaken, right?
The old stuff like what's at the ball field, we're gonna start putting some LEDs up, like I said earlier. They're not gonna be nothing comparable to what's in the ball field.
Well, this might be able to include lighting.
Mhm.
They may. look at that area, same area, a 50-yard or 30-yard practice field. Complement.
Yeah, we need like a little sport. I mean, that would be, we need something like that.
That's what I'm saying, you can get that read. Some kind of field, throw in, maybe lighting with it.
It's good outdoor recreation. That we're talking about here, and it hits all people in a variety there, from pickleball, volleyball courts we played on in multiple routes, so it hits a lot of age groups. I think
Didn't the master plan have like some kind of, like, some kind of field, you know, in that big old field off the right of the stage? Had
I
something,
think so.
something in there, I think.
it had 2 multi-use fields.
Yeah.
That's what they're called. I think what I'm visualizing this piece of more of a 30-40 yard option there where things can happen. I mean, they're not, they're using what you're talking about as a field, but they're using one area.
Yeah, just a little
Small
bit, just a
area.
smaller area will be
If we
fine.
can get that and get lit in this whole piece, that's a whole lot of movement in the right direction in that area. And we're using grass that's already available to us. It's part of the plan as well, because it did have those courts. Maybe they were in a different area.
Yeah.
We still had that area.
Mayor, have you got any input or anything?
I think to have a comprehensive plan involving basketball, tennis court and volleyball. I think that we feel Blue Cross because it's all about exercise, good health. I think we could present something to them. So. We do have some money from the purchase to use in this project, for 25,000, which.
Well,
Speaking of what you mentioned there, popped in mind the thought, I've seen some areas where you build, like the field we're talking about here, off the back of it, might can have some exercise equipment around it that might appeal to more, there's certain outdoor exercise equipment that can be there available.
You've already got that out, that equipment over about coming out, say, to the health council put in years ago. Along the walking track.
Okay.
I remember staying.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It would be to incorporate some of that in the program.
And it might look appealing, is what I see. If you put that in area, that same field, here's this is using for this, and it's got, I agree with what you're saying, it might be, it won't hurt to have double.
Right, okay.
On those pieces. It really appeals to what it sounded like that grant was looking for. It was looking for outdoor recreation.
I would just worry if we include exercise equipment on that, and we've already put equipment over there, then why do you want more? We've got this there.
Well, that's very possible. It's got some age on it, so we can have it.
do we need to have her back to speak to us, or you will be in touch with her on sort of?
Be in touch with her.
what's-
She might even come back next month. We'll see.
Say we get those plans together, that we want to move towards those goals, is my thoughts, right? If you want to do a formal motion, we put it.
Yeah, do we need to do that in the form of a motion?
So nobody comes back on me saying, why'd you do this?
All right.
Yes, please.
Mike, just
That we look at this-
explain your motion again.
And we look at this grant and looking at the tennis courts, basketball courts, the volleyball court, building construction side of things, and a multi-use small field area with exercise availability there. I also want to make sure that we, in that grant, see if it's available for us to put lighting. But it'd be great to relight the tennis courts, those areas, especially during all the construction that's going on right now already.
Y'all heard the motion. I have a second.
I'll second.
Is there any more discussion on this? All in favor, say aye. Sounds good. See, got it.
I'll let her know.
We'll move on to B, solid waste, fleet status under solid waste, Cliff.
Well, it's, I mean, the papers are here, this two-colored sheet, Amy's got everything on there, what we need to know versus, lease versus purchase, so. Mr. Gully asked to get it gathered up, we did it for another truck earlier, but this is an example about what it would cost to lease versus the purchase of the vehicle. And I believe this does not include service goes in on top of this. The service or repair? Service repairs would probably be extra. I mean, there'll be a warranty for a certain amount of time, but the repairs, that's a big warranty on the truck after the first year.
So the lease, they're not including kind of service or something.
Unless you hire their driver, I don't believe so. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure none of that's included. That's just the cost of the truck.
Help me understand what I'm reading here. Equipment cost, 3-year Huntington, $397,850, that's buying a piece of equipment.
That's it. That's what the quote is right now from our cooperative, which is municipal equipment. And that's the same price they're charging for the vehicle as well, if you bought it out.
Okay. So where is this lease cost?
The total lease cost of the lease right under that, the bold black letters. A 3-year, 4-year, and 5-year plan on the top one, and the Magnolia at the bottom has a 3 and 4-year.
So it costs more to lease it than it does to buy it, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I guess what I,
For 3 years.
when I read this right here, you some math ain't adding up to me, I'm sorry, y'all. 397, 850 and 140, 687 is not 422, 035. So I'm trying to understand where these numbers are coming without calling anything out. I don't understand what's in front of me there.
You're not adding the top number and the next number, so that's your payment per year.
What,
The 140 is your payment per year.
so the total cost to purchase the truck is 422,000.
If you do the 3-year, yes.
Lease or purchase.
If you do the lease for 3 years, your total cost is gonna be 422,000
To lease.
to just to lease it.
It's still not.
If
your
you buy it outright, it's gonna be 397.
Buy it out, right?
397, 850.
You're buying it outright, you're not financing the truck.
That's
If we buy it outright, that's the cost.
Mhm.
now I'm getting an understanding of what that is.
I got you.
Okay. So it costs more to lease a truck than to purchase a truck. Minus the interest payments.
There's so many variables in these trucks that they've had everything. It could get torn up at a landfill, it could be in an accident, it could be driver error, it could be anything.
We just thought, I thought on normal lease, you know, they cover it.
You're right.
But that's out.
I'll double check, but I'm almost positive that it's not. I mean, they'll have to come. Some of these are in Pennsylvania, ones in Ohio, and maybe ones here in the Knoxville area. Let's go back and check my emails and see, but there's gonna be a service charge if they come service the vehicle.
Both companies have the same years of warranty on it. This is 2 different companies,
Two
right?
different companies.
Yeah,
The
but
truck usually has a 1-year warranty.
that's it.
That's it.
It's, yeah, I want to do things. What does? Mr. Green,
Yes, sir. Go
what
on.
does Smith County do? Do they purchase trucks, use their trucks?
Right now, they are leasing roll-off trucks. They don't have door-to-door garbage trucks or anything like that. They are just roll-off trucks.
So they have door-to-door garbage.
No, all their stuff's leased out through TDS and Great Ball.
How much, I think we've gotten about 10 years of life on the truck we've purchased. Really.
2013 model, so approaching 11. And it's not going away. It'll be kept for a backup truck but right now it's getting aged and it's gonna have to be shut down for an extended period of time. It needs injector rings, O-rings around the injectors, it needs a front main seal, a couple other small things.
So
Mr. Guthrie.
what's our current backup?
Walk behind
That requires more individuals, I said.
3, 4 driver and 2 guys on the back.
Do we have the employees to cover that if we need to right now?
You're looking at.
Okay.
That you're looking at.
And I appreciate the honesty, Mickey.
Yeah.
So the reason I asked the question was, the reason we had asked for this was you presented as we would need to purchase a truck. We're at a 10-year, 11-year-old truck. And the only reason I was going that route is, if we're gonna continue to provide the service that that is being paid for inside the county, door-to-door pickup inside the city limits, we're gonna continue to pay that. And we'll have to, period, pay up for a truck. It sounds like you've done a great job getting 11 years out of what you've got, and that's very appreciative, and it's not going away itself. Lease is way different than I would have anticipated, but glad we got the numbers. How long before one of these trucks can be, if we signed off as a commission and said, all right, it's time to purchase this truck? We're seeing times of 2 years and things on other trucks. Is that the same here?
He's supposed to have some auto cars in the next 6 months.
So if we sign off on one, you think you could have one August, September, maybe?
Well, hopefully by the end of the year, at least. That's the hope.
Mr. Goodley.
Ms. Amy, in urban services, what's sitting in the, and I only mention urban service because this is an urban service mainly used truck that's door to door.
In the fund balance,
Yes, ma'am.
I know it's over 1 million, and I'm not sure what that second number is. Maybe 1.8.
Your own urban service, anybody else? To me, that's what truck we're talking about, and that's what he's asking us for, so I'd like somebody from urban services opinion on this too as well. But to me, that would be an urban service draw for this door-to-door pickup. The one that was purchased has been well maintained and made it 11 years. And I'm sure it didn't, I think you told us it didn't go up a whole lot, we're in that 10 or 11 period.
I was surprised that I think we gave 327 or 370, something like that for the last.
My view would be that we do a draw for the service and include that as a budget.
I'd like to see figures from the urban services, so maybe we can have it for our budget and finance meeting and talk about it, but I mean, to see before we. I understand we do need it, and it probably does need to come urban service, but that's something I need to see the figures on.
The kicker with staying with one of these trucks is that we've already put these trash cans out into the community. There's, everybody that's in town knows that they're a lot bigger. They're 96 gallons. If they leave the lid open or decide to fill them full of Thanksgiving dinner, they can weigh 300 to 500 pounds. And we're asking a little skinny guy, young guy, it's just, we're looking at future work top cases. I don't know. When we decided to make this decision, it was back in the Jake West and Woody made this decision. I helped set it up and get the ball rolling.
Could you?
We've already bought, we bought 1,000 cans initially, then we bought 200 more. We just recently purchased 500 more. So it seems like something we're, gonna keep doing. Hartsville city limits are growing like mad. We've already delivered over 100 of the new cans, so. It's really a back saving thing as well as a time saving.
It's also manpower. I mean, we put
Absolutely.
on versus 3. That makes sense to me. Those 2 other individuals can pay for this truck all the time.
Well, we did it 3 weeks ago, a month ago. He rode on the back with a younger guy. I mean, it's just murder, it's murder.
It's a whole lot. That's what they.
Back in the old days, we had the little 30, 40 gallon tin cans, and no big deal for a guy to grab them and dump them. And this truck does have tippers on it. It'll actually pick it up and dump it if you'll get it to the back of the truck. But that's a lot to ask for in some cases.
People don't maintain their cans. When we go to use the tipper, it slings that can inside that truck and tears it up. So. And yes, we have to.
And we offer hepatitis shots for this very,
Say, I'm sorry.
hepatitis shots, we offer those to everybody we hire for this reason, just mainly for this reason. It keeps my guys not just away from back breaking, but there's a lot of dangerous stuff anymore.
Yes. I would like to make sure that we, at the cost we're talking about, first off, the lease might be a look at, but if we can get 10 or 11 years out of a truck, we can pay $397 for. I think it's a whole lot better than getting 3 years out of 422, whatever those pieces. To me, if there's no services provided in those, and no breakdown
I'll find out.
repairs. Cause that breakdown repair could get every week.
Well, it's not just the breakdown, if the people that are leasing it to you wanna take it to their mechanic, the truck could be gone indefinitely. But when we send them off local here in Nashville, we know about how long they're gonna be gone. And since we hired this mechanic, I hadn't had a truck in the shop until this week. We actually had to send one out this week because the computer went out. It has to be changed and reprogrammed. We just don't have the reprogramming capabilities in-house. So that's the only reason it went to Mac.
So how long, I mean, how long would it be if we just approved you to get it? How long would it be before you get the truck? I missed,
I would hope within 6 months. 6 months to a year. This truck's running, but it's just a matter of time before it goes down. The O-rings inside the injectors are letting water come into the cylinder. And what that's causing is, irritability on the valves and the heads, the pistons, everything is starting to just get a little bit of water burn in there. And that'll start clogging the valves. That happened to the gray truck, the gray front loader truck that we sent to Mac, 2018. They put a $60,000 motor in it. So that's what it'll wind up costing us if we don't get this truck shut down for a little while and get it fixed.
I was asking Amy about the ARPA. I wouldn't mind, maybe ARPA pay half and urban services pay half. Something we need to discuss probably in budget finance.
You get all this year.
I know it.
I mean, it's all been necessary stuff, but. I think I'm kind of, if Urban has the money to do it, get that ball rolling.
I don't think we need a motion to move it that direction for the next budget cycle.
Yeah.
If you want a motion, I don't mind us putting in a motion that we would get it on. the
We're
budget.
hovering, we're fine right now. I mean,
Maybe make it,
for the past 3 years or 4 years, I've been saying, in 3 years, we're gonna need this truck into, and we're a year past that now.
I wanna hear make sure I want unclear here. I'm not talking about for next year's budget. I'm talking about for next month's meeting. So, and I'm fine with going that fast, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
maybe a recommendation of this committee to the budget and fine, or get a recommendation from them and go to the court with it.
I'd be
I still want to look at she gave me the figures here, but I'd like to sort of digest it a little bit on urban services before we make it. I mean, but we can get a motion from this committee to recommend it, or, to.
I put that on a motion that recommended my motion would say it's an urban service piece, so that we move it out of urban service in that motion. If we need to change it to budget finance, we can have that conversation, but my motion would be that we currently pull that as a budget finance. I'm getting ready for the March meeting on budget finance, get all our figures together, we'll cover purchasing costs, get that as an agenda item for that night. And be ready to.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, we'll be in budget here for long. We'll be here before you know.
Well, next on March, not budget.
Right.
items. I'm talking
But
about
still, I mean,
prior
one budget
budget.
says it's gonna be here before you know it. So the more we can talk about it, the better. I'm all in.
what I'm just gonna be clear.
I just don't know what I was gonna hit urban services in the next, before this budget year ends.
I'm trying to get on this year's budget. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you, but if we're going to get it on this year's budget.
Yeah.
We don't get hit with something in June. Costs that are missing. I get what you're
So
saying.
you want to make a motion that this committee recommends that we buy it out of urban services? Yeah, everybody understand that? Then we'll,
And try to get it on the March agenda. For budget finance.
Second.
got a second. Any more discussion on this? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? All righty. Is there anything else we need to bring up? Anything else, Cliff, we need to discuss? Anybody else got anything?
If we ever
Chris?
get road bag, which you pay for.
Yeah.
Oh,
We putting it in operation this week. It's running. It's good.
Mr. Gregory.
Not gonna mention, Mike Potts had reached out to me 2 weeks ago asking about trying to get a street light on Front Street. Now they're by the storage units, I guess, in those townhomes right there. Mike said he had reached out to Tri-County and just that, just they told them they had to get a request from the county commission. So,
It's actually
I
just the commission.
I talked to, you give us an update on that, Cliff?
all we need is where he wants it. If he'll mark a spot on the ground where he wants it, we can't go on property and do that. But if it's on the streets, street front, then it won't be a problem.
Is that something you take care of? I mean,
Oh, it'll be taken care of as soon as I know where they want it. Yes, sir.
okay,
so have Mike get in touch with you and figure out where they want it.
Yeah.
Okay, I will tell them soon we're done here.
if anybody else is needing a street light like that or whatever it is, or is that something they had to, that something go through you or Tri-County or?
Mayor's office first. That's the best thing to do. We've discussed this when we know where we're at on it. So
Okay.
it won't be an issue.
Okay,
It's just a matter of me getting with Jonathan Marsh, and I've already talked to him. He's left me a message this week, so once we get the ground marked, it won't be an issue.
Just making sure we understand, we're talking about inside of urban service area.
Yes.
The reason I make that mention is that's where streetlights are. It's not anybody outside, you know.
yeah, urban service area.
This is inside our urban service, just to make sure everybody understands why we're having this discussion, you know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is give them a, that is an inside urban service district area.
Well,
Streetlights, exactly right.
Well, I think the reason Mike called me is that the Front Street is the seventh district, which is mine, so.
100%, I want to say it that way.
Oh, yes.
No, I'm saying, it's on camera, I don't want everybody to think, it's just anybody going there. Their office might be decent. That is inside the urban service district.
Yeah.
Good point.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
And a county maintained road. Let's put that out there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that.
I was trying to look before we get out, before we adjourn, try to schedule a March meeting. March 20th, that's what spring break week, oh, isn't it? Is that the week we on spring break?
Mhm.
What about March 13th?
Wednesday night.
Yeah. Or either that or the 27th, I figured that, y'all might, people got stuff they on spring break, we might not be here.
27th will give us after commission.
Yeah,
Oh, it really wouldn't matter on that part.
well, but if we're,
You wanna do it the 13th?
yeah, I'd rather do it before.
All right, let's try to set our next meeting for March the 13th. 6 o'clock. And we'll keep meeting here that we can get in the courthouse. That's all I've got. Anything, any public comment? Appreciate y'all coming. If I hear a motion, got a motion to adjourn, second. Appreciate y'all coming. I missed all kind of.